station of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
After two tough losses, who would you rather have on the mound than Justin Verlander? JV has absolutely owned the National League. 27 career wins in interleague play. He'll take the mound tonight on a gorgeous evening for baseball. We're at Chase Field tonight. Game one in the series featuring the Tigers and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Peppa, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for game one in the series. Day off yesterday, Ron. The Tigers coming to the ballpark today. You kind of knew there would be an announcement. There was. Francisco Rodriguez, at least for the time being, no longer the closer.
Well, Frankie had a bad weekend in Oakland. He blew a couple of saves, and if you're the Tigers, I mean, you just can't afford to squander those types of games when your team has played so hard to be in the lead at the end of the game. So it'll be Justin Wilson. Wilson was the pitcher of the month for the Tigers in the month of April. He's dominant. He will miss some bats at the back end of the game. Looking forward to watching Justin Wilson get an opportunity.
All right, so we turn the page to tonight, and we've got ourselves a dynamite pitching matchup tonight. JV will go for the Tigers. Robbie Ray, the former Tiger, pretty good for the Diamondbacks.
Well, a couple of hard throwers. I mean, Robbie Ray, let's start with him. His average fastball by 93, 94 miles an hour. The only left-hander in baseball throwing harder than him is James Paxton these days. And then when you start thinking about Justin Verlander has been unbelievable other than one start. As we take a look at Robbie Ray's record, 3.47 ERA, 12 strikeouts per 9. We talked about the power arm. But Justin Verlander, as you mentioned, taking the ball after a Tigers loss has been unbelievable in his career, and we'll need him to do that again here tonight. He's also a hard thrower. His fastballs average about 95 in his last couple of starts, and you can see what the numbers look like.
So it'll be JV and Robbie Ray tonight here in game one of the series. Now, over in the American League, we really very rarely hear about Paul Goldschmidt, but this guy is as good as it gets in the National League and in baseball at first base.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I enjoy interleague play, because you get a chance to see other players that you don't normally get a chance to see. And Goldschmidt takes a backseat to no first baseman in the National League. Take a look at the team ranks since 2012. He's their best hitter. He hits the most homers. He drives in the most runs. Well, you get it. Justin Verlander, runners in scoring position, and you've got a nice parking spot for Goldschmidt. You really don't want to go after him. And something else the guy does, he's won a Gold Glove, and he also has 8 stolen bases, which is remarkable to me.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Trevor Thompson. Coming up in this one here tonight, Tigers have had a lot of success in interleague play. The second best winning percentage in interleague play. Tigers, Diamondbacks, game one, next. Here in Arizona, we are in Phoenix tonight at Chase Field. The Tigers Diamondbacks get together in game one of the series. Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be ROMINE, Iglesias, and Miguel Cabrera at the top. Castellanos is hitting cleanup tonight. J-Up is in left. MIKIE MAHTOOK is in right field. And your bottom three, McCann, Machado, and Verlander. No Kinsler again tonight, although he was originally in the starting lineup. The starter tonight for the Diamondbacks, Robbie Ray, presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
And Robbie Ray is off to a really nice start here to the 2017 season. In 6 starts, he checks in 2-2. He's got a power fastball that tops out at about 97. He works at 93, 94. He'll also throw you quite a few sliders, an occasional curveball, not many changeups at all. Let's take a look at the starting defense tonight behind Robbie Ray. It's presented by Tim Hortons. Tomas, Pollock, Peralta in the outfield. Owens, Drury up the middle. Lamb, Goldsmith on the corners of the infield, and Mathis is the catcher here tonight.
Well, we are ready for baseball here this evening. Robbie Ray is set to go to work, and so are the Tigers. Brad Ausmus and the Tigers trying to shake off a couple of really tough losses in Oakland. Consecutive walk-off losses to the Athletics.
They don't get any more difficult than those 2 losses.
Well, the first pitch of tonight's ball game is outside 1-0.
And we've got a couple of guys here tonight, the left-hander Ray and Verlander. Most of their fastballs will be 95 and above all night.
ROMINE batting .260. Mentioned that Kinsler was originally in the lineup at second base, took some batting practice, and they decided to back off on him. And ROMINE was again inserted into the leadoff slot and playing center field. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and it's a strike on the outer edge, and he got the benefit of the call there.
Yeah, Ian Kinsler took early batting practice this afternoon, and he also took batting practice with the rest of the guys.
Here's the 2-1. I think the hope was that with the off day yesterday, they would be able to get Kinsler in the lineup tonight, but there is no reason to push him.
Well, if he doesn't play tomorrow, they might have to consider putting him on the 10-day disabled list and just backdating it.
Here's the 3-1, a check swing foul, 3-2 on ROMINE.
And because basically they've been playing shorter man for about 5 days now.
Well, the 10-day disabled list gives you a little bit more flexibility than the old 15-day DL. So that may be an option. Iglesias batting in the 2 slot tonight, waiting on deck. Ray now with the 3-2, and he walked in ball 4.
Here is the pitch usage for the former Tiger, Robbie Ray. He will throw that 4-seam fastball about 48% of the time. When he's not throwing that, he throws a heavy dose of hard sliders into the right-handers, an occasional curveball, sinker, and a changeup.
Robbie Ray has walked as many as 5 in a start this year.
Yeah, he strikes out a lot, but he's also been wild.
Here is Iglesias. Jose bumped up to the 2 spot in the lineup today. No DH, so Victor is on the bench. There's a strike called on Iglesias.
That's a good call by the catcher, Jeff Mathis. Ray clearly had a difficult time finding the fastball field to the first batter, so he calls for a first pitch breaking ball to Iglesias, and he threw a dandy.
Mathis flashing signs, wants the fastball up. And back to first goes Ray. You spent, what, 5 years broadcasting here, Rod? Does this ballpark play to the advantage of the hitters?
Absolutely, and especially with the roof being open. And if they had the panels open, it would really be hitter-friendly. But this is a hitter-friendly park, and when the roof is open, the ball travels a whole lot more. When Curt Schilling pitched here, Schilling refused to pitch with the roof open.
Is that right?
It didn't matter what the weather was like outside. It could be a beautiful night, just like it is right now. And it's a gorgeous night for May. Schilling would have the roof closed.
Temps today were in the 70s here in the Phoenix area, which is kind of unheard of.
Randy Johnson, however, he didn't care.
He didn't need any help, did he?
None.
It didn't matter to him. Leadoff walk to ROMINE just underway in game 1 in this 2-game set. Tigers play a couple here, then it's on to Southern California to take on the Angels. Their first West Coast swing of the campaign. Now the 1-1. Bouncing ball toward third, foul. Here are the field conditions tonight, presented by Ace Hardware and the Scott's Company. At Chase Field this evening, 72 degrees our game time temperature. Cloudy outside, but absolutely stunning night.
Usually this time of year, May 9th, it's about 95 degrees outside.
Nice. Swing and a miss, and Iglesias is out of there, one gone.
We're already starting to see the leadership skills of Jeff Mathis, who say he's a really good game caller and a real good receiver. Very smart and good at framing pitches. Ray could not get the fastball over the plate consistently, but he's been able to get that breaking ball over. Let's see how he attacks Miguel Cabrera.
Well, Mathis must be bringing some kind of value to their team because he's batting just 127.
Ooh.
Playing to pull on Mr. Cabrera here with the right side of the infield open. And he'll look at a strike on the outer edge.
Robbie Ray pitched 5 days ago against his former team, the Washington Nationals, and he overpowered one of the best offenses in all of baseball. With a power fastball from the word go, he was throwing 97 miles an hour in the first inning, and he continued that until the final pitch he threw that day. Might have been a little amped up, former club.
He's got a couple of former clubs, including the Tigers. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I don't remember Robbie Ray having a 97-mile-per-hour fastball when he was with us.
He didn't. No, he definitely didn't. He was, what, 93, 94 tops with Detroit. 1 ball, 1 strike on Miguel Cabrera. Swing and a miss.
When a guy has 97 with his fastball, you have to respect that, and then he shows you this same arm speed, and he throws you a breaking ball. You can fool a great hitter like Miguel Cabrera with that pitch.
Here's the 1-2. Way high.
Every fastball that he has thrown, he has grunted, and he's missed high.
It's funny, a couple of players are saying it's almost like watching a tennis match with all the grunting, but that came about last year when they started, Mike Butcher, their pitching coach, started telling Ray, look, man, you just have to let it go.
Right.
You know, he was struggling with command and some other issues, and, well, the grunt was born out of just letting it go. Little dive low, the count fills now 3-2.
The thing about Miguel Cabrera, once you show him that breaking ball early in the count, a lot of times Miggy will not leave the strike zone again and swing at a bad breaking ball. There are occasions Willie will, but if you show Miggy one pitch one time, usually you can't get him out with that same pitch.
Leadoff walk to Romine. Iglesias struck out. And now Cabrera waits on a 3-2. And he got him, strike 3. And again, Robbie Ray gets the benefit of the outside part of the plate. That looked wide.
95-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball. Miguel did not like it. Bill Miller is the home plate umpire here tonight.
Well, clearly Ray is getting that call, and so it's been consistent. But that was outside. And the best hitter on the planet right now is not happy about it. 2 gone, and here is Nick Castellanos, who is batting in the cleanup spot tonight for the Tigers. Nick pretty much has been batting second for Detroit this year. Brad had to make some changes to his lineup with Victor on the bench. No DH here in the National League parks.
Nick's been swinging the bat well last 7 games. 345 clip for Nicholas Castellanos, 10 for 29 with some extra base power.
He had a really good series in Oakland. He knocked in 4 in that series.
He is still hitting the ball as hard as anybody in baseball.
That'll get away from the catcher and advance Romine to second. An easy move up there as that ball got away from Mathis. Here's Martinez, and of course in National League ballparks, Victor knows the drill. He might get an opportunity to pinch it late in the game. But these days in National League parks, no designated hitters, so no Victor. Here's the 0-1. Strike called, 0-2. That one caught the inside part of the plate up at the letters.
That's something else that Robbie Ray will do. And because he's got that power fastball at 95 miles an hour, he's not afraid to throw that ball across his body and get it inside to some of these right-handed hitters. The entire Tigers lineup tonight is right-handed against Robbie Ray.
Now the 0-2. Ray was a tough luck loser in that last start in which he struck out 10 against his former team. 6 innings, 2 runs, 10 punch-outs. And the Diamondbacks lost 2-1.
They had a tough road trip, did the Arizona Diamondbacks, from a hitting standpoint. And they're a different team playing on the road versus playing here at home. They're a confident bunch here, but not so much when they leave Chase Field.
Now the 1-2. Bouncing ball left side. It's going to get through, base hit. ROMINE rounding third. They send him home, and he will score. The wild pitch sets up the run, and Castellanos cashes in.
It's a nice job here by Nicholas Castellanos. That's a four-seam fastball, mid-90s. Nicholas is a great fastball hitter. Right past the shortstop Owings, and once it got into the outfield to Tomas, there was no way that ROMINE was not going to score.
5 RBIs on the road trip now for Castellanos, a total of 20 on the season. Tigers make good with a 2-out hit. And here is Justin Upton. Ball 1. .264 this year for Upton. 2 out of 11 in the series against the Athletics. Two balls and no strikes on Upton. Justin with 15 RBIs this year. Swing and a miss out in front.
And Ray's got that real nice breaking ball and that changeup working against some of these right-handers. Take a look at J-Up's career numbers at Chase Field. He started his major league career right here in this ballpark. Better than the 300 average, 71 homers, and he drove in 229 in his time here. And he was just a baby when he got to the big leagues. He was 19 years old.
He was drafted by the Diamondbacks. 6 years wearing their uniform. 96 on the gun there, but it missed.
Now you can see why Ray at times gets himself into trouble. He's been just about 3 balls on every single hitter here today.
He is about to throw his 25th pitch. Here's the 3-1. 3-2 on Justin Upton. Leadoff walk, wild pitch advanced him to second. 2-out single by Castellanos makes it 1-0 Detroit. Runner will go on 3-2. And Upton takes ball 4. It's another walk for Robbie Ray. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. And when you look at the best interleague records since '06, the Tigers trail only the Boston Red Sox. '06, of course, was the start of the Jim Leyland era, and the Tigers under Leyland played really good baseball in the interleague, and they've continued that.
Some good teams on that list: Boston, the Yankees, and the Angels, where the Tigers will visit starting Thursday. The Tigers, they really beat up on the senior circuit. That would be the National League.
It'd be nice here for the Tigers to get a few more runs. They got JV on the mound. That'd be a nice start to this one.
That's right.
MIKIE MAHTOOK batting 182 stands in. And he'll look at a strike 0-1.
MIKIE hasn't gotten much playing time lately because Jim Adduci has been on fire in right field.
And finally, with a lefty on the mound for the opponent, MIKIE cracks the starting lineup.
Yeah, left-handers have not had a whole lot of success this year against Robbie Ray. He's holding them to a 152 batting average. That's why Brad Ausmus has all 9 of his guys batting right-handed.
MAHTOOK hammers the ball to center field. Pollock is on the move. He'll get there in the gap. And the side retired. Tigers will lead 2, but they get a run. As we go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Detroit. Castellanos RBI hit. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Justin Verlander taking the hill. He is presented tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Really only one bad start this year for Verlander. That was the 9 earned runs he gave up to the Cleveland Indians. If you take that start out, his ERA is 2.32. Power fastball 95 to 97. All the secondary pitches that he needs to dominate this Arizona Diamondbacks lineup tonight.
And their lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. The top 3 will be Pollock, Peralta, Goldschmidt, Lamb, Tomas, and Drury in the middle of their lineup. Chris Owings, and then Jeff Mathis and Robbie Ray, the pitcher. So here we go, JV on the hill. It'll be A.J. Pollock to get things started here. And Pollock looks at a strike in the outer edge.
This is the guy that you want to keep off the bases. And Pollock already has 11 steals this year. He's only been caught twice.
Solid 297 average. Couple of homers. Here's the 0-1. Pollock last year injured, and that really hurt the Diamondbacks. He broke his hand. Had a couple of injuries, actually. He is second in the National League in steals with 11. Here is Verlander's 1-1. Pollock, Peralta, Goldschmidt, and the top for Torey Lovullo. Diamondbacks, as Rod mentioned, very good at home. They are 12-5 in this ballpark.
Totally different team when they leave here, though. In every single aspect of the game.
Well, really, you look no farther than the offensive numbers. They hit 301 at home, 205 on the road.
They just left Coors Field in Denver, and we all know how most guys hit in Coors Field. They went 14 innings without scoring a run in Coors Field. 14 straight innings.
How does that work?
I don't know how that works in Coors Field.
Here's the 2-2, and it's slapped foul back out of play.
That's the one thing that a lot of teams do against Justin Verlander, whether it's a National League team or American League team. Typically when he's out there, there's at least 20 foul tips off of the pitches that he throws.
Well, I'm not sure there's an explanation for it. We talk about it every single Justin start, but it certainly happens, and that's why he's well over 100 pitches every start.
Yeah, he threw 118 his last time out. He threw 119 the start before that. So he's been throwing a lot of pitches.
Oh, that was a good pitch, but it just missed inside.
He tried to front door him with that good curveball. Here's the pitch usage for the Tigers ace. And four-seam fastball, you'll get a steady diet of 95s. He's got a great slider. He's got a plus-plus curveball and a really good changeup that he hasn't really used a whole lot this year.
And Pollock takes ball 4, so he is aboard. No, they called him out on strikes. A strikeout for JV. Pollock headed to first base and punched out of there by Bill Miller. 1 away.
Looked like he swung.
Clearly went.
Yep.
He tried to coax it though. Oops. 1 away. Ball 1 to David Peralta. .297 batting average. 3 home runs for Peralta so far this year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin not only does well in interleague play, but especially against the Diamondbacks. He is 2-0 against them with a very low ERA. Heater missed inside at 96. .184 ERA against the Diamondbacks. Here's the 2-1 to Peralta. 96 up there is awfully difficult to catch.
Well, the last year and a half, this is exactly where Verlander has made his living. Upstairs with the power fastball, 95 and above. He gets more swing and misses than anybody in the game up in that level.
Swing and a miss. He went right back up there, and down goes Peralta.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' defensive alignment behind their ace tonight. Justin Verlander. Left to right, they go Upton, ROMINE, MAHTOOK. Up the middle, they go Iglesias, Machado. On the corners, it's Castellanos and the big fella. James McCann is behind the plate here tonight.
Back-to-back at 96 up top.
Yeah, just about every fastball Verlander has thrown in this inning has been 95 and above.
JV is on pace for 27 strikeouts tonight. He has fanned Pollock and Peralta to start the game. Goldschmidt, 316. Skies that one back out of play.
Goldschmidt has a lot of power. He's hitting 316. He already has 7 homers. He's driven in 26, and he generates a ton of power, and this guy does not stride with that front foot. He simply picks the heel up and puts it right back down, but yet his upper body strength allows him to hit balls 450 feet. He's some kind of strong. Borderline country strong.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, he is borderline country strong.
Now, what else you got to do to be country strong? I'm not sure what the parameters are here, but he's got to be within them.
Verlander might just throw him an off-speed pitch here in the fastball count. We'll see.
Nope, 97 reached back for a little extra, but now it's 3-1.
You don't mind putting Goldie on. I mean, you really don't. I mean, with his numbers, you don't need to give in to him that much. We do know.
Here's the 3-1. In there, a strike. Full count now on Goldschmidt. Strikeouts of Pollock and Peralta for Verlander. And he walked in ball 4. Again in 97.
You've got to watch Goldschmidt, though. We told you at our open today that he's a first baseman, but he's a good athlete. He has 8 steals. He's only been caught 1 time, so you have to pay attention to him.
Isn't it funny when elite hitters come to the plate, and we see this with Miguel Cabrera a lot. Suddenly, you go from 95 to 97, a few extra miles an hour.
Right, yeah.
And Verlander reached back, but he ended up walking Goldschmidt. He's the tying run aboard now with 2 outs. And here is Lamb.
Even though Verlander throwing 95 to 97 miles an hour, the Tigers are playing Lamb to pull on the infield.
Major shift going on here against Lamb.
Verlander has a really quick move when he's throwing over to first base. Therefore, if you're Goldschmidt, you can't get off too far. Goldschmidt almost got caught out on that right foot. Ooh, how about this?
Oh, man.
Since the start of last year, 303 throwovers to first base, which is 100 more than the second guy. That's amazing.
Well, I mean, a lot of times there is a purpose to that. Obviously, riding holding runners, but that's over 100, as you mentioned, which is a whole lot more than the next closest. 1 ball, no strikes on Jake Lamb. And darted away and low. Got a swing and a miss with it. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Verlander's thrown a couple of changeups in the game already today. One to Peralta, and then this one to Lamb at 89 miles an hour. And what a great pitch. And with some fading action down and away from the left-hander.
So the fastball has touched 97. Good changeup so far tonight. Looks like the arsenal is going to be at full strength for JV.
The one thing about Verlander, if one of his pitches is not working to go along with the fastball, whether it be the curveball, the changeup, or the slider, he can simply go to the other 2 because on most nights, his pitches aren't going to leave him.
Ball high. When you got a guy like Justin on the mound, how much of the ball game does he call as opposed to the catcher?
I think he tries to allow McCann to call the game. But Justin's been in the big league so long, and he's his own man out there, and ultimately he's the guy that's releasing the baseball. So you will see him shake off more so than any of the other Tigers starters.
Ooh, up and in. 3 balls, 1 strike on Jake Lamb.
All of a sudden, Verlander's lost his command here to the number 3 and the number 4 hitter.
Justin struck out Pollock and Peralta. Then he lost Goldschmidt on a 3-2. And another walk. Back-to-back walks for Justin. 2 on, 2 out. Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game. Presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. Here is Yasmani Tomas. 20 RBIs already this year for Tomas. Tigers got a run in the top of the first on the 2-out RBI hit by Castellanos. Now Arizona looking for one of their own. Tomas been struggling just a bit of late, just 1 for his last 13.
And majority of those outs have been strikeouts.
Bender drops in for a strike.
We've seen the power fastball that's gotten up to 97. We've seen a couple of really good changeups, one at 89, one at 90. And then a breaking ball there to start off Tomas.
He has power, 5 homers so far. JV just seems to be overthrowing a little bit now. That last one at 98.
And his pitch count is up to 25 now.
Justin in his first 6 starts had a total of 3 walks in the first inning, and now tonight he's got 2 here in the first inning.
And Verlander has an extra day's rest, so he may be a little stronger than normal. Usually you pitch on your 5th day, but Verlander pitching on his 6th day with the rain out of the Cleveland Indians before they left Comerica Park to embark on this long road trip. So he might be a little stronger today than normal.
So the pitch count is high on both starters in this game. Now Verlander has him 1-2. And JV will step off. Tomas last year 31 home runs. He knocked in 83. Good smother there by McCann. 2-2. Verlander trying to gather himself now. He had a very snappy inning going, but then walks to Goldschmidt and Lamb. Missed outside again. He's gone 3-2. This year, opponents are batting just 121 with men in scoring position, that is, against Verlander. So he has really stepped up in these instances. But he's gone full now on Tomas. Runners go, and a bouncing ball back up the middle. That'll be a routine play. Machado throws him out, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 walks, 2 left. The Tigers and the Diamondbacks. Game 1 in the series. Tigers got a run in the first. They lead by a 1-0 score. And the bottom 3 coming up. It'll be McCann, Machado, and Verlander facing Robbie Ray, who gave up the 2-out hit to Castellanos. Well, McCann hit that big home run on Sunday after an 0-for-17 spell, and the smile on his face was from ear to ear.
And not only in his face, but his teammates' faces. Very happy for James.
James getting another start here with the lefty on the mound tonight. And McCann looks at a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now that home run, despite his low batting average, was his 6th of the year, which leads American League catchers. Good pitch. 94 inside. 1-2. Robbie Ray, a native of Nashville, actually Brentwood, Tennessee. He's 25 years old. High towering fly ball to center field. Pollock is on the move, to the track, to the wall. He looks up, and that ball is gone. It's a home run for James McCann. And a 2-0 Tigers lead. Here comes some more smiles.
A lot of Tiger fans here, buddy.
Just loud, man. Well, he put a charge into that one to right center field.
Yeah, there's nothing cheap about that one.
Here's Machado. He'll look at a strike. Seventh of the year.
One of the things about the Tigers team, guys that throw 94, 95 miles an hour usually do not bother them.
Pulled foul.
Look at Machado turning on a 95 piece of cheese. It's a 93-mile-per-hour fastball that McCann had a pretty swing on. That uppercut swing hit the ball over the 413 side in right center field. It might have rolled into the pool.
And Machado will go down on strikes. One away. 404 feet on that home run. The exit speed 103 on the homer by James. Here is Justin Verlander. Robbie Ray has his third strikeout of the game. JD fouls it off. He got a piece of 95. 3 for 37 for his career. Half swing fouled off, 0-2.
The Arizona Diamondbacks starters have now struck out 200 batters already this season, which is first in the National League. As a matter of fact, their starting rotation is in the top 5 in several pitching categories. One of the reasons why they've gotten off to a much better start this year than last year.
Swing and a miss. JV goes down. It's another strikeout. Well, let's check in with John Keating. I think he's out of the pool in right center.
It is 72 degrees here in Phoenix, or as they call this in Arizona, winter. Thus, there is nobody in the pool. The pool here at Chase Field, if you come to this ballpark, you have to sort of swing by, even if you're only going to do some, all right, we'll say it, people watching. I did happen to hear Rod Allen sort of suggest that maybe tomorrow you guys would do the broadcast out here in the pool.
It might be nice, John. We used to do those games out there regularly when I was with Arizona.
I've got $7 in my wallet I'm not doing anything with. I'd love to see you out here in a Speedo tomorrow.
Well, you sure aren't going to pick up the check with it, that's for sure. McCann homers 2-0.
McCann home run swing, 93-mile-per-hour fastball out of the hand of Robbie Ray. And John Keating is out in right field. He's out by the pool. Take a look at where the ball goes right here. The ball does not go too far away from John. The ball went in that area, but here's John, and you can see he makes absolutely no effort to go get the baseball. He's got that microphone in his hand, and he's just ready to talk.
I'm a guest here, all right? I mean, in fact, I had to talk my way into the pool, so I'm on my best behavior, which is rare for me.
I was wondering why Keats packed his boogie board in the Speedo before the
right.
The
there is a hot tub out here as well. That might be more into Brother Impemba's liking.
Absolutely, hot tub.
Hot tub.
There's a foul back out of play off the bat of Brandon Drury. He'll lead things off here in the second.
Verlander needs an inning here to get that pitch count back into shape. He threw a bunch of pitches in the very first inning, therefore his pitch count already up to 31.
Owings to follow, and then Mathis. We're in the second. The Tigers lead 2-0. Here's the 1-1. Shot to right field on a line. MAHTOOK right there. One gone. That'll bring him Chris Owings. Tigers last played here at Chase Field in 2014. They won 2 out of 3 in this ballpark. In fact, that's the last time these two teams met, period, in 2014. Chase Field has the roof open tonight and a spectacular evening here. Temperature in the 70s. JV throws one right down the middle at the knees. 0-1 on Chris Owings. That'll back him out of there. 1-1.
Second time Verlander has started that breaking ball at one of the right-handed batters, but he hasn't been able to catch that inside corner with it. It stayed inside.
That one stayed up. 2-1. .300 over his last 14 games for Chris Owings. They've had a couple of runners, both walks in the first inning. Foul tip. 2-2. Verlander 27 interleague wins.
Is that a lot?
Yeah, when you put the backdrop of only 5 losses up there, it's pretty impressive. Now the 2-2. You're talking about JV in his last 2 starts, 118 and 119 pitches. Those are the 2 longest outings of the year in terms of total pitches thrown by Verlander. And he threw a lot in the first inning. So it would behoove him to have a snappy second. Just missed inside. JV wanted it. He skipped off the mound.
We haven't done this in a while, but we used to show Verlander and the amount of pitches that he's thrown since coming to the big leagues in 06 compared to anybody else in the big leagues. And Verlander would be way ahead of anybody in the game at the amount of pitches he's thrown since he came to the show in 2006.
Ground ball, base hit, right field. He went the other way. Owings has a 1-out single. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849, and by Ram Trucks. Gus Glory Ram. Nighttime starting to settle in here in Phoenix. We're at Chase Field for game 1 in this series. Jeff Mathis will step in.
And Owings is another guy that can run on their team. He has 8 steals. He's been caught twice. So Verlander will keep him close to keep his double play in order.
The Diamondbacks are running club. They lead baseball in steals with 37. But the Tigers do have that golden arm of James McCann behind the dish.
And Verlander usually gives McCann time to throw.
Mathis only 127 in the average column. Swing and a miss. In fact, in his last 38 at bats, Mathis has only 2 hits. Former Angel, former Marlin.
Mathis has always been known as a good receiver, a good game caller, a guy that's very intelligent behind the plate. He can frame pitches, and that's one of the reasons why he was signed and by their new general manager, Mike Hazen, in the offseason.
Another foul tip. 1-2 on Mathis. Back in the day, in his Angels days, he formed the catching duo with Mike Napoli. Napoli known more as an offensive threat, Mathis the defensive specialist.
They had a real good catching instructor there as well, their manager, Mike Scioscia.
He was as good as they got in the big leagues at blocking home plate.
Right.
Which you can no longer do. It's fouled off, and Mathis stays alive. Catchers all around as far as managers, huh? The Tigers have their own, and Ausmus.
Right.
There have been a lot through the years, and that position perhaps lends itself to becoming a manager.
Well, the catcher always has to have the slowest heartbeat on the field. He's the one that has to stay calm when the game speeds up on the rest of the players. He's taking the signs from Brad, relaying those to the infielders and the pitcher. That's why there's so many catchers that are managers now in the big leagues, because of how much they have to be involved in the game. There's McCann now looking at Brad, taking the sign.
1-2 on Mathis. Swing and a miss. Mathis down on strikes. Verlander has his 3rd of the game now. Here's Chevrolet's most dependable player. And when you talk about numbers in interleague play, how about Justin Verlander? Burley has 30 interleague wins, then Cologne, and then Verlander, but look at how many starts.
Yeah, 54 starts for Burley, 57 for Bartolo, and only 39 for Justin, but yet Justin just a few wins behind.
39 interleague starts, tonight being number 40 for JV. Robbie Ray, not a bad hitter. Swings and misses on the first.
He's hitting .455 right now.
Pretty good. 5 for 11 for Robbie Ray. He's also had 3 sacrifice flies this year. Now they go 1. Batting with 2 outs, a runner aboard. Tigers lead 2-0 in the second. Swing and a miss. That swing looks so long against JV, doesn't it?
Yeah, that 96 gets on you in a hurry.
Verlander has him teed up. He's got 3 strikeouts. Swing and a miss, make it 4. No runs, they get a hit, and they leave a man. 2 in the books in Phoenix.
for the opportunity, but I know it comes at a time where, you know, Frankie's struggling, which you never want to see. You know, he's done a ton for our entire bullpen, myself included, and I think we're a better team with him in the ninth. And, you know, like I said, I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm going to do whatever I can to shut it down in the ninth, but I want him right, and we'll move forward.
Those are the words of Justin Wilson after finding out today he's the new Tigers closer, and the late inning struggles this year, Rod, have been, well, eye-opening to say the least.
Well, that's the reason why Brad finally had to make the change. Frankie was struggling. He blew the last couple of saves in Oakland. And Justin Wilson throwing the ball as well as any reliever right now in the sport. Lots of strikeouts, power arm. And you like to have a guy at the back end of your bullpen that could miss some bats, and Justin Wilson definitely has the stuff to do that until Frankie gets right again.
Jose Iglesias and then Miguel Cabrera and Nick Castellanos in the third. Tigers lead 2-0. Now, he did say something that I totally agree with, and Brad said the same thing. I mean, this is a much better team when Frankie Rodriguez is closing games, and he is who he has been because you're obviously a lot less deeper now at the back end of your pen.
Right.
And so they do need to get him right. Little chopper off the end of the bat to Goldschmidt. Somebody better get over there. He'll take it himself. One away. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera, who struck out looking at a pitch that he thought was outside back in his first at bat. Cabrera's 6-game hitting streak going. He's had a lot of at-bats against the Diamondbacks, obviously, in his days over in the National League before joining the Tigers. .358 career against Arizona and 11 home runs against them. Here's the 0-1. Ooh, up and in.
Robbie Ray has not been afraid to go inside with that mid-90s fastball to several of these Tigers right-handed batters. This one straightens Miguel Cabrera up. See if he's confident enough to go back in there with another mid-90s fastball.
High and away. Robbie Ray has 4 strikeouts in this game, but he has been a little bit wild. Here's the 2-1. 2-2 on Miguel.
Man, pretty good breaking ball there at 82. And from Robbie Ray. Miguel upset with himself. Looked like he had a feeling that he was going to get that pitch, and he swung right through it. And the reason why I say that, because his timing wasn't bad. He just missed it.
Three and two.
Robbie Ray continues to miss with his control badly. I mean, Mathis, the catcher, setting up inside on that last fastball, and he continues to miss up and away.
Hammered down the left field line, hooking, and it's foul.
Ooh.
Man, Cabrera hit a laser down the left field line. Give the Tigers fans in attendance a thrill. Short-lived, though. Check the cover, see if it's still on that ball. Wow, that was close.
It was a rocket, too. Here comes that mid-90s fastball. Maybe even 96.
He tried to hold up, couldn't do it.
He got it.
Another strikeout. That'll be the 5th and the 2nd of the night for Cabrera.
Third baseman, Nicholas Castellanos.
By the way, the Tigers host the Rangers on Saturday, May 20th at 7:15 p.m. Former Tigers catcher Pudge Rodriguez will take part in a pregame Q&A session starting at 5:45 at the Big Head Court. part of the Alumni Saturdays. For tickets, go to tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. Castellanos now with 2 outs and a bouncing ball to third. It's a foul ball. Lamb made the backhanded play, but just a bit foul. Nicholas with a 2-out RBI single in the first. $20 RBIs now for Castellanos. Ray coming inside there to move him off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. $20 RBIs, a team high for the Tigers. 2-1. Just noticing the numbers of Robbie Ray last year. He made 32 starts, Rod, but he threw just 174 innings. Most of the time you'll see guys get to 200 innings when they make that many starts.
I think what may have happened to him is he's still very young. They probably were trying to watch him a little bit with the innings. Although he did have quite a few strikeouts and he did make all of his starts, they still tried to limit his pitches thrown or his innings thrown. He is only the 2nd pitcher in the history of the game to have more than 200 strikeouts in a season with only 175 innings. Kerry Wood is the only other pitcher to do that.
Yeah.
175 or less innings with 200 or more strikeouts. There's only 2 guys.
Well, he averaged about 5 1/3 innings per start last year, the 3rd lowest in the National League. Nick takes low, running full now, 3-2.
And then again, a lot of that could be due to his wildness. He
That's
just
what
really
I thought.
hasn't figured it out yet. I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's got a power arm. He's got usable pitches, but he's going to have to start to command them a little more.
Full count on Nick. Trying to get something started here with 2 outs in the 3rd. Got him. Tried to hold up, but he went around. And that already is 6 strikeouts for Robbie Ray. Tonight, you should look at the standings in the Central. The Indians, with their victory now, 18-14. Tigers came in at 500, 15 wins, 15 defeats. But they got JV on the mound tonight and a 2-0 lead
And Justin's been about 94, 95 with every fastball, and most of his fastballs have been upstairs above the belt buckle. And Pollock, he chokes up on the bat ever so slightly.
A little squibbler foul down the first baseline.
Sounded like he broke it.
Yep, sure did.
Even the bat boy knew that sound. He was out there, Johnny, on the spot.
They started that a couple of years ago where the bat boy has to be at attention with the new bat just in case the hitter breaks it.
Yep. It was all part of the speed up rules.
Oh, 2 on Pollock, who struck out against Verlander in the first.
We had a feeling that there would be quite a few strikeouts in the contest tonight.
Down the right field line, slicing. Fair ball. It'll go to the corner. It's cut off there by MAHTOOK. And in sliding with a double is A.J. Pollock.
Nice piece of hitting here by Pollock. I mean, this is a changeup, and it's outside, and Verlander tries to get the outside corner. The ball is off the plate, and he's able to reach out there and poke it down the right field line. Nice job by MAHTOOK, too, getting over there, cut that ball off, or else that's a triple.
Both of the Arizona hits off the bat of right-handed batters to right field, the opposite way. There's a chopper right back toward the mound. And JV will have only one play. Advancing to third is Pollock. So the runner moves up, one gone now for Goldschmidt.
Here's where Verlander usually gets tough with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. He's put up some real nice numbers this year. He hasn't given up a whole lot, but he'll have to be at his best right here, going up against one of the better hitters in the National League in Goldschmidt,
who, by the way, came in batting .400 over his last 16 games. Got a walk in his first at bat. And ball 1 to Goldschmidt.
Tigers are conceding the run in the infield with 1 out, and Pollock on third. Anything on the ground, and with his speed, he'll be able to score. Verlander looking for a strikeout.
Justin has racked up 4 of those so far tonight. 2-0. Again, that fastball reaching 97 against Goldschmidt.
He hadn't thrown him many strikes, though.
Nope. Nope, he really hasn't. They've got Lamb waiting on deck. And a strike on the outside corner again at 97. Tigers 2 runs on 2 hits. Arizona no runs, 2 hits. Pretty good. 417 RISP. Runners in scoring position.
There are not too many numbers that don't look good associated with Goldschmidt's name.
Very true. And there's a base hit to right. He took a 98-mile-an-hour fastball at the letters and slapped it to right field. An RBI single for Goldschmidt.
It's a fastball. It's up. He's able to get on top of it and hits that ball right past Miguel CABRERA on the right side of the infield.
27th RBI of the year for Goldschmidt. 2-1 ball game, and here is Jake Lamb. 3rd hit of the game for the Diamondbacks. Ball 1 high. Neither starting pitcher, although the strikeouts have been coming at a pretty good pace, have really had good control tonight. And JV now is approaching 60 pitches, which would be a 20 pitch per inning average. There's a high towering fly ball to left field and hit well up and going back to the track. to the wall to make the catch. Runner will tag and move to second base. Lamb nearly hit it out the other way. Two gone. Here is Yasmani Tomas.
And last time Tomas was up, Verlander busted out the curveball and threw Tomas a couple of them in the pitch sequence, and while he was up there. And we'll see what he starts him off with this time, with a runner in scoring position.
Tomas grounded out in that at bat in the first inning. He's got Goldschmidt now at second. Bouncing ball to third, foul. The other thing about this Diamondbacks team is that they steal third base a lot. In fact, they lead the National League in steals of third with 11 this year.
Good for them. And usually teams that are heavy in the analytics these days, they don't run all that much, but that's not the case here. In Arizona, under their new manager, Torey Lovullo. He was in Boston last year as the bench coach for John Farrell. Their new general manager, Mike Hazen, he also came from the Boston Red Sox. He was their general manager working underneath Dave Dombrowski.
Line drive to left. That's going to be a base hit. Charged by Upton. They'll try and score the run. Here's a throw to the plate. He is saved.
Ooh, they might challenge that.
Goldschmidt slides under the tag of McCann. We'll see if the Tigers challenge. That was an outstanding throw by Upton. Tigers trying to decide, and the phone is out, says Brad.
Imagine that.
So the clock is winding down, but they can't get in touch with Matt Martin here to decide if they want to challenge. Here's another look. Hard to tell there.
Well, the umpire really can't see where he's at, whether the tag was applied or not, because he's blocked by James McCann. He can't tell. It's close.
Yeah, they're going to look at it. You can't get any closer than this.
That's a really nice job as well by the on-deck hitter, Drury. I mean, anybody watching a game, when that runner's coming home, you, as being the hitter in the on-deck circle, you have to tell that runner which way to slide, and that's exactly what Drury did there.
They had a good shot of it. It was a subtle indication, but he told him exactly where to go. So the Tigers will take a shot here. The call on the field is safe. For the time being, a 2-2 game.
I like the way that James McCann had both hands on the glove, keeping the ball in the glove until he went to swipe tag.
Probably your best look right here, and I don't know that it's enough to overturn it. They said he's safe. So the run stands. It'll be an RBI single for Tomas. #21st RBI of the year for Tomas. 2-2 game. Call stands, but again, a really good throw by J.Up. And a good tag by McCann, just a little bit late. Brandon Drury now with 2 outs.
Well, the Tigers knew that it would not be easy playing against Arizona in this ballpark. And they are an outstanding team when they play at home.
Tomas, by the way, took second on that throw home. 1 ball, no strikes on Drury. Line sharply to right field in his first at bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers got 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and the Diamondbacks have answered here with 2 in the third. So Justin now is averaging more than 20 pitches per inning so far. One and two.
Let's take one more look at the Justin Upton throw. One hopper to Justin. He gets behind the ball and unleashes a one hopper to James McCann. And James McCann with a swipe tag, but Goldschmidt with real good speed and a good secondary lead from second base. Able to beat the throw, but what a throw by Justin.
You really can't make a better throw than that.
Justin playing a lot shallower these days, and because of that, he can throw runners out. He can also take away bloop singles. And he's shown the ability to go back on the ball as well.
Justin very familiar with this ballpark, having played 6 years here. Low and away, 2 and 2. Well, we gave you the numbers earlier, how much better the Diamondbacks are at home offensively in this ballpark, over 300 batting average wise. And after Verlander shut them down for a pair of innings, they scored twice. High fly ball deep into right center field. MAHTOOK is on the run. So is ROMINE. That is going to go over the wall into the seats. It's an RBI double for Drury. Tomas will score, and it's now 3-2 Arizona. This guy's hit.
And they don't overswing. I mean, they've got a bunch of guys that's trying to put the ball in play. And Drury gets himself a fastball and flips it to right field off the warning track into the pool.
Second double in the inning, 7th of the year for Drury, and that'll bring up Owings. Arizona has its first lead. Strike call. Owings had a single in his first at bat. That'll give the Diamondbacks 5 hits for the game now. One ball, one strike. Verlander now up to 67 pitches. Up and in, 2-1. Kind of been that kind of night for JV. That is 20 pitches in this inning now. Here you go. 29 in the first. Swing and a miss. 97 right by him. 2-2 on Chris Owings.
And 69 pitches total for Verlander. 29 of those have missed the strike zone. He's thrown 40 strikes, but a lot of pitches, and he's not out of the third yet.
Little chopper slowly towards short. Iglesias running scoop. And he got him at first. Nice play. That'll end the inning, but a big inning for Arizona. They scored 3 on 4 hits. Bud, you see what happened in St. Pete?
I did see that. Kevin Kiermaier, the all-world defensive center fielder for the Tampa Bay Rays, allowed one to scoot through his legs, and Lorenzo Cain scooted home with a Little League home run.
Well, you knew Cain was going to score once he got by him. Kiermaier has been one of the best in center field, but he botched that one pretty good. Here's Upton now. The Tigers down by a run. He'll swing in the first and drive it deep to right field. That ball going to the track and in front of the wall. It's caught by Peralta. One away. How about the Royals, man? They are 11-20. 6.5 back, but still pretty much all jumbled up in the Central.
Yeah, Kansas City just hasn't really played well at all. And they're still only 6.5 back. So there's a lot of baseball to be played. And I still think that Kansas City team is going to have something to say about who wins the Central before it's all said and done.
They're in the 11th tonight, 6-6, KC and Tampa Bay.
Cleveland does kind of scare me, though, because they can run off some wins with that pitching staff and that bullpen they have.
Do you remember how many they won in a row last year? It was like 13 or something.
It was crazy.
Yeah. En route to winning the division. The 0-1. MAHTOOK looks at a ball high. 1 ball, 1 strike on Mikey. Lined out to center field in his first at bat. On the outer edge.
It's a changeup there by Robbie Ray. He hasn't thrown many changeups, but that was one at 85 miles an hour.
High fly ball right field. Peralta under that one as well. 2 gone. Let's see if we can find John Keating. Keats.
Where would he be now?
Well, behind home plate, and of course there's lots of Tiger fans in attendance here. But this group sort of caught my attention because Jim Adducci's only been a Tiger for about 20 minutes, and he already has signage. So the Grover family here, sort of longtime family friends with Jim and his wife. George, how bummed were you that Jim wasn't in the lineup?
Well, we were really bummed because I'm from the D.C. area. I came all the way out here to see the Tigers.
You can put that down so people can see your face. There you go.
Came all the way from D.C. for my son's graduation. We found out the Tigers were playing. Wanted to see Jim play, and he's not playing tonight.
Are you guys pinching yourself with the success that he's enjoyed early?
He's doing great. He's over 300. I hope he stays on the 40-man roster here for the Tigers.
Congratulations to Steven on his graduation from Arizona State. They're enjoying the game. Maybe the last half inning, not so much, guys.
Pretty good artwork on that.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Very, very nice. The Old English D's and the Adducci last name. McCann fouls it back. 1-2 on James, who has homered in this game, a solo shot. The second career interleague homer for McCann. 26th of his career. He's got a good power number this year. 7 total home runs this season for the Tigers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So McCann's last 2 hits, home runs. Outside. Here's the 3-2. It'll get back out of play.
And for those of you that tuned in a little bit tardy, James McCann got himself a 93-mile-per-hour fastball from Robbie Ray in the second inning, and he took him out to the pool area out there in right center field.
Second baseman, number 49.
Ray, meanwhile, got him 1-2-3 in the third. And he walked him. 2-out base runner.
And James McCann has 7 home runs already. Did not hit his 7th home run last season until July 29th. 103 miles per hour on the hit speed off of his bat back in the second inning on the homer. So I'd say he's well ahead of that pace from a season ago.
To be sure. Machado with a high chop to third, and Land throws him out. Inning over, no runs, a walk, one left.
Much more data available. I think for me personally, the best way to do it is kind of mesh new and old school. You know, a lot of it is just based on feel, and you know, I think you can kind of sprinkle in some stuff that might help you along the way.
The thoughts of Justin Verlander on advanced metrics, which have become a big part of the game.
I don't think he could have explained it any better.
No,
I mean, you take what you like, you leave what you don't like. I mean, there's so much data these days that's available to other players. You could be inundated with numbers if you allowed yourself to be. So you have to be strong enough to make sure that you don't happen. That doesn't happen to you.
Well, on May 16th against the Orioles, starting at 6 p.m. on Fox Sports Detroit, we'll have our advanced stats telecast. We'll learn about all the different stats there are and how they've been intertwined into the game. That's to the right fielder, MAHTOOK, one gone.
That's going to be great for the Tigers fans. You'll hear from Jay Sartori, Tigers Senior Director, Baseball Analytics and Operations. And we'll also discuss advanced stats and their place in the game all night long. So those of you that are interested in this, and even if you're not, it's going to be an amazing night to introduce some of the sabermetrics to our group.
Well, I will admit that early on I was kind of an old-timer in terms of being a baseball purist. I really didn't believe all that much into advanced statistics, and then I kind of got educated a little bit on some of them, and I think there is certainly a place, and I think there's certainly a balance in the game.
Yeah, there are some that I've kind of gravitated to myself. I mean, I kind of like the catcher framing because the pitcher throws 100 pitches up there, and it's such a big difference from a catcher being able to handle a pitch and keep it in the strike zone to keep the count 2-1 from going 1-2. I mean, that's a huge difference. And catchers, they play a huge role in that.
There's a bouncer up the middle. Iglesias goes a long way and throws him out. Robbie Ray thought he had a hit, and Iggy took it away.
Iggy takes away a lot of hits. He's already made a couple of real nice plays in the game. And to end that third inning, he made a real nice do-or-die play to get Owings, their shortstop, who can run. The thing about Iglesias, he's got really quick feet, and he stays on the balls of his feet the entire time he's chasing down ground balls.
Pollock taking his time getting into the batter's box to give Bray an opportunity to get back into the dugout and catch his breath. AJ had doubled to get things started in the third when the Diamondbacks scored 3. And he looks at strike one in the outside corner.
You know, back to the analytics. I mean, they have so many analytics. I mean, they have it for the defenders in the outfield. They have it for your defenders in the infield. We've talked about the catchers. The pitchers have their own pitching, independent fielding kind of things. There's just so many of them.
Here's the 0-1.
You have a favorite?
Well, we're going to talk about that on the telecast on Tuesday night, but there are some that I kind of look to. I really like whip. I like to see how many base runners that a starting pitcher has against him. I think that's a pretty good indicator. I like OPS. There are a few. I mean, I'm not really heavily into the deep analytical stats, but I do see the importance. Did he go? Yes, he went around. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Verlander, and boy, did he need that. Now, he did get some help. Jose Iglesias, his shortstop, took a base hit away from Robbie Ray. Justin Verlander leads it off as we go to the fifth inning. It is 3-2 in favor of the Diamondbacks. JV struck out in the second. And Robbie Ray's 0-1 pitch. Strike called again, now 0-2.
Yeah, Robbie Ray already has 6 strikeouts in the contest, and the Arizona Diamondbacks starters have struck out more than any other starters in the National League.
Verlander now career 3 for 38. The 1-2 pitch. Down he goes. Well, here is Menard's big money encounter. Speaking of Verlander, back in 2014 against the Padres, about a couple of big league hits.
Yeah, he took him a long time to get that first knock, but then he got another one to right field. Then he really had to run hard because the right fielder was entertaining thoughts of throwing him out.
But he didn't like that either.
No, he did not appreciate that.
JV gets his first 2 big league hits. He was 0 for 26 to start his career as a hitter. But as we know, that doesn't really mean anything for him compared to his pitching prowess. A little bit outside to ROMINE. 1 out here in the 5th. ROMINE had a walk and a run scored. Hit the ball hard in his last at bat, but right to the shortstop. Three balls and no strikes.
3-1. Romine starting in center field. Ian Kinsler was originally in the Tigers lineup but was scratched with that hamstring. And there's another walk. Robbie Ray has 7 strikeouts but 4 walks now. Last time he walked Romine, he scored.
Shortstop, Jose Iglesias.
Here's Iglesias. Strikeout, ground out.
And Robbie Ray has already had starts this year where he's walked 5, he's walked 4, he's walked 3. And so walk's a big problem for Robbie Ray.
And I think it gets back to that number we talked about last year, a guy that made 32 starts but threw just 174 innings. And didn't go much beyond the 5th inning last year on average in his starts. He is in the 5th inning right now. Iglesias takes the ball outside. Ray was traded to the Tigers in December of 13 in the Doug Fister deal. The Tigers then traded him to the Diamondbacks in a 3-team deal that brought Shane Green to the Motor City. In there, a strike called.
When the Tigers acquired Green, they thought he would be in their rotation,
right?
Not in the bullpen.
And he was initially.
Yep.
You know, as Francisco Rodriguez works out his issues and Justin Wilson now has become the closer, Ron, I think that Shane Green now really takes an added role, an important role in this bullpen.
It's going to be vital because he's going to pitch that critical inning, the 7th inning. It'll be he or Hardy, depending on whether there's left-handers or right-handers coming up. So not only is Green going to be very valuable, but Blaine Hardy also going to be valuable in that 7th inning.
Popped up, slicing down the right field line and drops in a base hit. Romine had to measure it, so he will stop at second. A bloop single for Iglesias.
As soon as that ball went up, I had an idea that it was going to fall. Romine shuffles off. He's not sure whether it's going to drop or not, and is still able to get to second base.
That'll bring up Cabrera now with 2 on and 1 out.
And Ray has already struck Miguel Cabrera out twice here today. One time with a fastball looking, the other time with a breaking ball in the dirt. He's thrown MIGUEL every single pitch that he has in his arsenal in his first 2 plate appearances.
Ball 1. Ray has not been bashful about pitching inside in this game.
Not at all.
Which I guess in some ways is kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah, you don't see it very often, whether it be a right-hander or a left-hander. Guys just don't like to pitch inside all that aggressively. Not often anyway. Ray's done it a bunch.
That'll bounce in, and Mathis blocks it. Now 2-0. Tigers down by a run, but a golden opportunity here with 1 out in the 5th.
And Torey Lovullo, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks the last number of years, he was in Boston as the bench coach for John Farrell, so he knows all about the damage that Miguel can do. I think the Boston people started to believe that Torey Lovullo would be a good manager when John Farrell had cancer at the end of the 2015 season.
Right.
Lovullo managed the team and went 28-20 down the stretch, and I think that's one of the reasons why Mike Hazen, who was the general manager there last year, brought him to Arizona when he was given the general manager's job. Familiarity.
Here's the 2-0. MIKIE swings, drives in the air to center field. That ball is hit well, going to the wall. It's off the base of the wall. 1 run in. Here comes Iglesias. They're going to put the stop sign up, and he will hold at third. It's an RBI double for Miguel Cabrera. And Iglesias almost lapped ROMINE.
Let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. You knew Miggy would get raised sooner or later. Miggy very seldom strikes out 3 times in a game. First 2 pitches hard inside with a fastball, then a breaking ball down. Then he left a fastball over the heart of the plate, and Miggy drilled it over the head of the center fielder Pollock, and Iglesias nearly caught ROMINE. He read that ball very well. Dave Clark had to hold him up.
RBI double, 13 driven in for the big fella. The Tigers have tied it up. Infield coming in a couple of steps now with Castellanos up there. And Nick looks at a ball low.
This had to be a difficult assignment here for Dave Clark. Take a look at Iglesias here. He's going to take off. He reads it better than ROMINE does. ROMINE wasn't quite sure. Iggy already knows. And then when ROMINE takes off, Iggy's on his heels. So look at Dave Clark. He's willing one home, and then he has to stop the other one. Hey, that's a great job of being a traffic cop right there.
Well, that's an outstanding job by Clark. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
And Castellanos needs to shorten up and just make sure he can hit a fly ball deep enough to right field to score the run here. No need in getting greedy.
So Robbie Ray now is at 86 in the pitch count total, so his numbers are elevated. And he's got big time trouble here as he tries to maneuver through the teeth of the Tigers lineup. Way high, snap throw to third, and he got back. Iglesias coming down the line, and Mathis gave it a shot.
It looks like Iglesias is coming on top contact because he has a very aggressive lead coming down the line. And Mathis, he understands that. He snapped through down to third, nearly getting Iglesias. It looks like Iglesias is going to come home on a ground ball.
Mathis again smothering, now 3-1. Cabrera with an RBI double. Robbie Ray fell behind him 2-0, and Mickey made him pay.
And Robbie Ray, I guess you can say he's been effectively wild here today. 88 pitches. He has 7 strikeouts, but he's also walked 4. And he's sitting in a 3-1 count to a dangerous fastball hitter in Nicholas Castellanos, should he decide to challenge Nicholas with a fastball.
2 of the 4 walks for Ray have come around to score, both of them ROMINE. And that'll be low for ball 4, and now the bases are loaded. 5 walks for Ray. And here is Justin Upton. Upton, .298 career with the bases loaded, 4 grand slams. Like Butcher comes running out. Hey, don't forget Fantasy Dinner Series returns on June 1st. Special guest Jack Morris. All in attendance will get a gourmet meal, a photo with Jack, and a chance to participate in a Q&A session hosted by Dan Petrie. Only 25 spots left, so call 313-471-2550 or visit Tigers.com to learn more about the Fantasy Dinner Series.
Morris and Peaches. That was a nice 1-2 combination for a number of years.
He sat on top of that rotation in '84.
Peaches had a nasty slider, man. He had a good slider. And of course, Morris had that good fastball and that splitter.
Justin Verlander's watched his team tie it up, now maybe take the lead. Here's Upton. Strike on the outer edge to J-Up. Walk and a fly ball. Ray, the 3rd time through, has a .270 average against. Upton takes high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers in their last 10 games, including tonight, 306 with men in scoring position.
That's a lot of concentration, a lot of quality at bats.
They can reclaim the lead here.
They're starting to stir down in the Diamondbacks bullpen.
Did not go.
The Tigers have done a nice job in this inning laying off some of the borderline pitches that Ray has thrown. They're making him throw the ball over the plate. Just about every guy that's gone to the plate in this particular inning has had themselves in a really friendly fastball count.
TJ and McFarland warming up. Two and two.
That is a great pitch by Ray against a dangerous hitter in Justin Upton in a 2-1 count. He throws a breaking ball that Upton swung right over the top of.
And that was Ray's 25th pitch this inning. Way high. Now it's 3 and 2 and no place to put him.
He wouldn't walk in a run, would he?
He sure would. Stand by.
Might be his last batter too if he loses Upton.
Three and 2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 gone.
He did not throw Justin a 3-2 fastball. He came back with a 3-2 slider, and it was a strike.
Eight of them now for Robbie Ray. 8 punch outs. That was a big one. All of them swinging. Here's Mikey MAHTOOK.
I thought Miggy's first time up was
it was. It was looking. You're right. It was on the outside corner, and Miggy thought it was wide.
Yeah.
Good catch. MAHTOOK has hit the ball in the air twice, once to center, once to right. That'll miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers are trying not to squander this opportunity. The double by Cabrera has tied it up, but they are loaded now with 2 outs. Line drive to center and a base hit. MAHTOOK comes through. 1 run scores. The throw to the plate, cut off, throw to third, in time there. But Mikey MAHTOOK, a 2-out, 2-run single. Huge knock for MAHTOOK to give the Tigers the lead. RBIs 4 and 5 on the season for Mikey. And the Tigers scored 3 here in the 5th. What a clutch knock. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
is smaller than the one they had for a doozy.
A doozy's is much larger. We'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers. Tigers have the lead now. It is 5-3.
Yeah, you're right. We appreciate that. Just having a little fun.
We do. It's going to be Peralta, Goldschmidt, Lamb, 2, 3, and 4 facing JV, who once again has the lead. Soft roller back towards second. And Machado able to throw him out. Well, JV, what's going on here? Keating has just walked in the booth.
What do you got?
I think you guys have been really good on the air tonight, especially good. So, so I found for you a Churro Dog 2.0, and I would tilt it, but it might melt.
Okay. What is happening, John?
We're told that the average calorie intake for a day should be 2,000.
Right.
That's 1,050 calories.
Sweet. I got plenty of room.
That's a Churro Dog. It's basically a churro on a donut with ice cream and whipped cream on it. They say
you didn't have ice cream for dinner tonight, Mario, so you can get after that. Yeah, you did not tonight.
How did you know? Were you keeping tabs on me?
I know.
The tagline is total awesomeness on a donut.
Great.
All right.
How many calories again?
1,050.
Man, you are awesome.
That's $10. Can you tell me how I expense this? $10.
Well, there's a towering drive into left center field. It's going to be caught though by Romine. Well, we appreciate it,
thank
buddy.
you, John.
All right, you want to have a?
No.
We can't do it
in between innings.
In between innings.
That's too many.
You better hurry.
Too many extra steps on the treadmill.
Surprised there wasn't a bite taken out of it.
What are you saying?
Nothing. Oh, you're still here? 2 outs. Here is Jake Lamb. Well, they finally got Goldschmidt. Walk and an RBI single. Oh boy, Keats digging in right now.
Is he really?
There's going to be none left by the time this inning's over. There's a ball low to Lamb. So Verlander trying to bounce back here after his teammates have given him the lead. He has retired 6 in a row in this game. Lamb 0 for 1 with a walk. A little bit low and inside. 2 balls and no strikes. JV gave up all 3 runs in the 3rd. They did it on 4 hits. Here's a 2-0. 3-0 now on Lamb. Yasmani Tomas waiting on deck.
I think Verlander's kind of picking and choosing who he wants to pitch to in this Diamondbacks lineup here tonight. Lamb clearly has power. He can hurt Verlander with a home run. And Tomas, even though he's driven in a run, still not the same batter as Lamb.
They are playing him to pull to the right side of the infield. Swing and a miss.
And 94 in the outside black. And he threw that fastball right by Jake. And Verlander first time through, the batting average at 208, 255 second time through, and goes down a tick, 243 the 3rd time through the order.
Swung and missed. He struck him out. Verlander now has retired 7 straight. That's his 6th punch out. James McCann will get things started for the Tigers. He's already homered tonight. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded car company 3 years in a row. Back here at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona, where the Tigers have regained the lead in this one.
What a gorgeous night tonight.
It is spectacular. We've got a wall side windows pitching change. TJ McFarland is in now.
TJ has some nice numbers. Pitching in his 5th game. The earned run average is 1.69. The whip, that's under 1. Hasn't walked a batter. He has 3 strikeouts.
So Robbie Ray is able to go just 5 innings. Battling his command. That ball hit right back off the pitcher. McFarland runs it down and throws it out.
Ooh, that hurt.
Man, where did that get him?
He's not going to rub it, but boy, does it hurt. He got smoked.
Get him on the leg?
Yeah, it did. In the leg somewhere. Ooh, the left ankle looks like.
Pretty good job there of staying with it. And now the trainer out to make sure he's all right.
No, he's done.
He is done, apparently. 1 pitch, and he's going to be out of the game. And he is limping off the field. McFarland is out of the game, hit by a line drive off the bat of James McCann. So back to the bullpen. Have the D-backs have to go, and they have to do it not expectingly, as McFarland had to leave on the line drive. It's going to be Andrew Chafin, the left-hander, checking in.
And Chafin's pitched some pretty good baseball. Pitching in his 14th game, the ERA is under 3. 11 strikeouts for Chafin, and he's only walked 3.
Chafin out of Kent State University. He's been with the Diamondbacks since 2014. 14th appearance of the year for Chafin. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Some happenings around the major leagues. The Yankees became the 4th team in league history to score 10 or more runs the day after playing a game that went 18 or more innings in a different city.
It's time to take the Yankees seriously. They are playing some great baseball in the American League East.
Yeah, I agree with that. They have really played well. Rays became the 5th team since 1900 to commit 4 errors and strike out 16 times in a 9-inning game. Man, it's a rough night. And a note on Marcus Stroman as well. The first pitcher to earn a win while throwing 6 or more shutout innings. 1 or fewer strikeouts. Chacin did it a few years back. So Chafin will warm up here. And we'll see how long it takes for him to get ready to go. But he was not expecting to come in.
In between innings, they had another guy run all the way to the mound. It was a right-hander. And then once he got to the mound, they said, no, not you. He wants a left-hander, so he had to run back to the bullpen.
It's Wilhelmsen, and Wilhelmsen was given the stop sign.
I guess he wants to pitch.
It's a long run back to the bullpen, man. And then here comes Chafin. That's funny. So Chafin now will be given as many as he can take here to get ready to come into this ball game. And the umpire now says, all right, you're good to go. Hey, by the way, celebrate Polish American Night Friday, May 19th. Tigers battle the Rangers at 7:10 p.m. Enjoy polka music and dancing prior to the game. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. This stadium is jammed with Tigers fans.
Everywhere.
And so far they've watched a good one tonight. Not maybe the pitching duel that we thought it was going to be, but Tigers have the lead. Here's Dixon Machado. And Machado takes ball 1 that skips all the way to the backstop.
And Chafin's got a fastball that tops out at about 95 miles an hour. His average heater about 93. He'll also throw a lot of curveballs and a lot of changeups. No sliders. Only 3 pitches for Chafin.
2-0.
That tailing fastball at 92. A little late life.
Chafin is an Ohio native who went to Kent State University. And he'll miss again. 3-0 on Dixon Machado. Just caught the outside corner. 3-1 on Dixon. Strikeout, ground out tonight for the Tigers' second baseman. Chopper to the shortstop. Owings is there. Machado is out. 2 gone. It's going to bring up Verlander. No offense to Mr. Chafin, but I think Verlander has a better opportunity to get a base hit here.
I would agree with that. Robbie Ray did Justin Verlander no favors. He was 95, 96 when Verlander was in the batter's box.
Couple of strikeouts tonight for JV. Fouled away 0-1. Now 3 for 39 career as a hitter. Another good hack by Verlander. 0-2.
He's had a couple of pitches to hit. A couple of fastballs from Chafin.
Swing and a miss. Tied him up. Down he goes. And a 1-2-3 inning for the Tigers offensively. We go to the bottom of the 6th. the Royals. That's how the Central Division standings are shaping up. Cleveland won again today. They're 18-14 now. And the Tigers trying to get back up over 500 with a win tonight. JV has the lead going into the bottom of the 6th. Verlander has retired the last 7 straight Diamondbacks. Yasmani Tomas. He'll get it started. Then Brandon Drury and Chris Owings. That darts in the outside corner. Strike 1. Breaking ball there from JV.
Verlander hasn't thrown a whole lot of curveballs today, but when Tomas has been in that batter's box, he's reserved that pitch for him.
The 0-1. Fly ball. Left center field. ROMINE is under it. 1 gone. Hey, don't miss out on the LPGA Volvic Championship play with a pro sweepstakes. Now's your chance to attend the pairings party and play 18 holes of golf alongside LPGA professionals at Travis Point Country Club on May 24th. For your chance to win, enter at foxsportsdetroit.com. How's your golf game, Rod?
I haven't played in a while, but if I went out to play, I probably would hit a few straight, but there would be some that would not be straight. And I probably have a couple 3-putts too.
That ball driven to the gap in right center. Going to get down. It'll be extra bases for Drury. And he will pull in with a 1-out double.
That's the second time he's gone in that direction for a double.
It'll be 6 Arizona hits now.
Verlander had retired 8 in a row before that double by Brandon Drury. And this swing looked identical to his last plate appearance, although that last time he was up there was a fastball. That time it was a breaking ball that he ripped into the right center field gap.
Justin threw a lot of pitches in the first 2 innings, but in the last 3 he had been able to get his pitch count back in line. He had a 10-pitch 5th and an 8-pitch 4th, but now a double.
And Brad, would I realistically like to get 7 out of Justin here today and then turn it over to the Wilson brothers?
Here is Chris Owings.
They got a pinch hit for Mathis, don't they, once he gets up there?
Well, I would think so. I mean, you get late in the game now, and Mathis is just a little bit over 100. Bunted, third base side foul.
Good idea, especially with Castellanos playing deep at third.
Owings hit a ground ball this last time up that Iglesias made a terrific play on.
It was a great play because Owens has good speed.
And it came with a runner at second base and 2 outs.
A lot of these Diamondback hitters choke up on the bat. Pollock chokes up. Owens chokes up. Drury chokes up.
It's going to go to right field. MAHTOOK backing up. Ball carries all the way to the warning track. Runner will tag and come to third base. Well, as they say about choking up, Barry Bonds used to choke up. He did pretty good too.
Yeah, he did.
Now he had some other talents. I mean, he's just an elite hitter, but you don't necessarily have to swing the knob of the bat.
Nope. And guys that do choke up a little bit, those guys are trying to control the bat a little bit better. And you'll also see some guys in the majors choke up with 2 strikes.
So Mathis will hit. And JB will throw from the windup. Swing and a miss.
I guess Mathis will bunt because Castellanos was in on the grass that first pitch. Now he's backing up a little bit, but that first pitch he was on the grass.
Here's the 0-1. Now Justin now is a strike away from ending this inning. They've got Descalso that has moved to the on-deck circle if it gets to the pitcher spot next. Mathis, a strikeout and a flyout. Here's the 0-2.
Here's Verlander's pitch usage tonight. 60% with the fastball. Most of those four seams upstairs, 95 and above. He's used the slider 11% of the time, the curveball 18%. He's thrown more changeups today to some of the left-handers.
Mathis has only 7 hits this year. 3 of them came on opening day.
This 91-mile-per-hour cutter, not the best pitch of choice for me. That's hanging right over the heart of the plate. And for a guy like Mathis that's struggling as much as he is, you'd kind of do him a favor if you throw something at 91 miles an hour. Might as well go back to 95 upstairs and get the swing and miss.
Just off the plate. Ooh, look at that. Look how close that was.
It's a good cut fastball at 91, located better than the previous pitch. You won't get hurt down there.
Verlander about to throw his 100th pitch. And he missed high now, 3-2.
And we told you that Verlander in his last 2 starts, he threw 118 against the Indians and he threw 119 in his last outing.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out at 99 miles an hour. JB's 7th strikeout of the game is a big one. They'll strand him man at third.
America Bank game summary. The Tigers got on the board first. That was the second inning, a solo shot by James McCann, but they wouldn't hold the lead for long. Tomas drives in 1 in the 3rd inning for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they went on to score 3 runs on 4 hits against Verlander in that frame. But the Tigers came back. The big fella who had struck out twice doubles in 1, and MIKIE, who has not played in quite some time, big 2-out knock up the middle to drive in 2 more.
So we'll go now to the 7th inning. Chapin is still out there, and the Tigers have the leadoff man up as ROMINE bounces one to short. And it'll be thrown out by Owings, 1 gone. ROMINE with a couple of walks, a couple of runs scored tonight, so he's done a good job.
Especially in that leadoff spot. Anytime you can score a couple of runs.
Iglesias coming up, and it looks like we'll get a pitching change here.
Double switch.
National League Park. So we'll get a double switch for Torey Lovullo. And it's going to be a Wellside Windows pitching change. 5-3 Tigers lead. We'll be back. Wilhelmsen, the new pitcher, and Herman, the new catcher. And Herman will bat in the 9 spot. Wilhelmsen will take over Mathis's old spot, which is 8th. So you don't normally see a battery walking off the field.
No, you don't, but National League rules, and which means Mathis, the pitcher, was due to lead off the inning. So Herman comes into the game. He goes into the pitcher slot. Then the pitcher, Wilhelmsen, goes into the number 8 slot where Mathis made that last out.
So Wilhelmsen takes over now to face Iglesias. Miggy looks at a heater up high. Wilhelmsen throws mid-90s.
Yeah, he's always had a plus arm. We saw him in Seattle for a few years. Fastball, average fastball, 95, so he can get up to 96, 97. He throws a lot of cutters. He throws a curveball and very few changeups.
Wilhelmsen at one time was a closer with Seattle,
and he was nasty.
29 was his high watermark back in 2011. Oh, what a stab at third by Lamb. Diving play, taking a double away from Iglesias.
Yeah, that one looked like it was headed down into the left field corner. One step and a dive by Jake Lamb.
2 outs now for Cabrera. Miggy had an RBI double back in the 5th. One ball, no strikes.
Miggy has not had a lot of success against Wilhelmsen. He is 1 for 9 in his career with 1 strikeout.
That's about to change. I got a feeling.
You know what? I would not doubt that one bit. I would not doubt it one bit.
Or maybe it's because I'm begging for a hit and pick the stick. My guy tonight, Miguel Cabrera, and he drives one in the air to right field. It's deep, it's to the track, it's to the wall, and it's caught by Peralta. What a play by Peralta and right. And he gets a doff of the cap from Wilhelmsen.
Wilhelmsen ain't fooling nobody. by Peralta, their right fielder, taking extra base hit from MIGUEL. Didn't quite know where the wall was, jumped prematurely, but still made a really nice grab. Did not want to take his eye off the baseball.
Was that going to go out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right. Pretty close. Great play nonetheless. Chris Herman leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 7th.
The final pitch of the 6th inning thrown by Justin Verlander was 99 miles an hour.
And he's back out there here in the 7th. 102 pitches into this game. It'll miss inside. Herman, former Minnesota Twin. Several years with the Twins. Last year with the Diamondbacks. And that one skips outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And Tigers got some activity going in their bullpen. They've got a left-hander up and they've got a right-hander up. Looks like Green and Hardy.
Here's the 2-1. That's how the 7th inning will look these days, with Frankie Rodriguez being taken out of the closer's role and Justin Wilson now pitching the 9th. Alex Wilson bumped up to the 8th. And depending on matchups, Brad said before the game, Green, Hardy in the 7th. There's ball 4. Didn't want to do that.
Take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. Overall, Justin Verlander's 9th against a very good offensive team in this particular ballpark. He's had his foot on the gas pedal heavy, early and late. He's topped out at 99 miles an hour, but a good majority of his fastballs have been 95 and above.
Justin now with 3 walks, but that is his first walk since the 1st inning. 7 strikeouts. Top of the order now, A.J. Pollock. Bouncing ball foul. .51 at 95 and above.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's amazing. I mean, we've talked about the fact that he's so durable, that he makes 32, 33 starts every year.
Since he's been in the big leagues, no one has thrown more pitches or innings than Verlander.
But it's just stunning how he doesn't lose any gas at all in the late innings.
He's got a perfect delivery, too. He's a ground ball right here, although they'll have to hurry because Pollock's got good speed.
Ground ball, but it finds the hole. Base hit. And now the Diamondbacks have the tying runs on.
Brad's going to go get him.
You've got David Peralta coming up. And Brad Ausmus coming out. Peralta is the lefty, so they'll go to Hardy.
Brad probably would have left Verlander in for a few more pitches had he not thrown 118 and 119 in his last 2 starts.
Yeah, good point. He has worked overtime the last 2, so JV will depart. Another Wallside Windows pitching change here in Phoenix. We'll be back. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Chase Field, where things are looking up for the Diamondbacks. Verlander is out of the game. They have 2 men on, nobody out. Hardy is on now with David Peralta stepping in. Castellanos on the grass at third in case of a bunt. No sign of one, and he fouls it down the left field line. Iglesias, long run. Sliding, can't get there. Here are the numbers on Verlander's 6 innings. 7 punch-outs. But the runners at first and second are his responsibility. Numbers on Blaine Hardy. Ball low, 1-1.
And Peralta batting .222 against left-handers so far this year.
Strikeout, ground out against Verlander. Didn't go. So says Adam Hammery down at third base. Goldschmidt is lurking.
He'll get Shane Green.
Fly ball left field. Upton going back to the warning track. And he'll make the catch. One away. Fans, MLB.com and BAT is your #1 mobile app for live Tigers baseball. Stay connected, a fully customizable experience. Tigers home screen icons, as well as game day, live game video highlights, and more. MLB.com and BAT. Get it today. It appears that'll be it for Mr. Hardy. He gets the left-hander. Alex Wilson had been warming up as well. But it's going to be Shane Green. So Green coming in will step aside. Another pitching change here in Phoenix.
And it's the news of the day, the Tigers bullpen, and Brad Ausmus brought everybody in and told us that Francisco Rodriguez would not be the closer, at least for now. After having the 2 walk-off losses in Oakland, that job now falls to Justin Wilson. Brad saying K-Rod's not that far away, but Wilson gives them the best chance to win right now, and the hope is they can get to Wilson and get a win here tonight, guys.
Paul Goldschmidt will stand in. A healthy hurdle to climb here for Shane Green, who takes over for Hardy.
And Green has a nice earned run average at 1.46, 13 strikeouts, 8 walks for Greeny. He's pitching in his 14th game, and he's going up against one of your more dangerous hitters in the National League, and that would be Paul Goldschmidt.
Walk, single, fly ball for Goldschmidt, plus an RBI and a healthy cut there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He doesn't get cheated.
Well, Shane Green in 97 there.
Yeah.
5-3, Tigers have the lead.
And Goldschmidt doesn't ground into many double plays either. He's only grounded into 2. He's a fly ball hitter.
Here's the 1-1.
Nice
Good pitch. Breaking ball outer edge, 1-2.
Fastball 97. He comes back with an outstanding breaking ball at 85 from the same window, same arm speed. Goldie doesn't stride, so he basically has a 2-strike approach all the time in the batter's box.
High towering fly ball, left center field. ROMINE going back to the track to haul it in. Both runners tag and both move up.
Ooh, Shane Green got away with one there.
That was scary right there.
It was a hanging breaking ball to Goldschmidt, a dangerous hitter, and he nearly hit it out. This ball was right down the middle at 82 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. Verlander's like, no way.
Going to walk the next batter intentionally. That's Jake Lamb. So he is given the intentional pass. Well, that look on Verlander's face said it all. I thought he got it, to be honest with you.
The ball has been carrying quite a bit here tonight with the roof being open. The ball carries better here at Chase Field than it does when that roof is closed. And when they open those panels up, it really travels well here.
Here is Yasmani Tomas.
You got to be careful here with him. And they might have to change the way they've been pitching him all day. They've been pitching and throwing him breaking balls all day long. Tomas might just sit on one of those breaking balls if Green starts him off with one. Verlander, I believe, started him off with the breaking ball in 3 straight plate appearances. Good pitch. Good pitch.
Heater at the bottom of the strike zone. Tomas, not so sure. RBI single tonight. Swing and miss. Ugly swing. 0-2. Verlander looking on, hoping his bullpen can do the job here. JV gave up a walk and a single. All you can do is pace at this point. Now the 0-2. Swing and miss. He struck him out.
I see you, Shane Green.
Huge strikeout for Green. And the Diamondbacks strand the bases loaded. JV gonna love this. Yes. Verlander, who departed with a walk and a single, but the pen stranded the 2 runners.
Nice job by Hardy and also Shane Green. Green throwing 97 with outstanding breaking pitches other than the ones that he hung to Goldschmidt.
Well, here is Castellanos now. The Tigers will send Nicholas, Supton, and then MAHTOOK against Tom Wilhelmsen. And the first one is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Wilhelmsen came out in the 7th, got a couple of outs, a line drive off the bat of Iglesias, and he got CABRERA to hit one to the wall in right field for an out. Nick tonight, RBI single and a walk. Tigers have 5 runs on 5 hits in this game, and here's their box score.
They've made those 5 hits count, though, haven't they?
Sure have. McCann is homered. MAHTOOK, huge 2-out, 2-run single in the 5th. Swing and a tip into the glove. Justin's still hanging out, watching the action. Struggled with the control a little bit tonight, Rod. Threw a lot of pitches early, but kind of settled in.
Yeah, he did settle in. At one point in time, he retired 8 in a row in the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. A lot of fastballs, 95 and above today for Verlander, 51 of those.
Chopped to third base. Nice running scoop. Lamb throws him out. 1 gone. They'll bring up Justin Upton.
Left fielder, Justin Upton.
J-Up struck out his last time up with the bases loaded. He has a walk on his resume tonight.
Yeah, that's when MIKIE MAHTOOK picked him up with a big 2-out knock.
MAHTOOK had that big pinch hit against Boston, I think, early this year.
Right.
He's had a couple of big knocks. Hasn't played a lot. Ball 1. MIKIE lurking on deck.
He usually gets starts when there are left-handers on the mound, but the Tigers haven't seen many left-handers lately.
That's going to go foul down the left field line. Tigers have led since getting 3 in the 5th. Even though they have been out hit tonight 7-4, the Diamondbacks have stranded 8 men on base. Brad looking ahead. He's got the scorecard, chatting with his bench coach, Gene Lamont. Charting the next couple of innings. Swinging a drive to center. Way back, and that ball is gone.
Ooh, J-Up.
Oh, man.
Did you?
Justin Upton killed it.
Into the camera well.
Incoming out there in center. Dude, that thing was killed.
Dude, that was a 2-iron. He hit that like he was hitting a 2-iron. That was a rocket.
Absolutely smoked. Upton's 6th of the year.
I cannot believe how fast that ball got out of the ballpark.
That was a sight right there. Right into the camera well in center. MAHTOOK looks at a strike. It's a big run too now, a 3-run game. So Upton comes back to Arizona where his career started and says, take that. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Justin Upton hit this ball so hard it got from his bat into that camera well in 4 seconds, and as soon as he made contact with it, he knew he hit it out of the ballpark.
What do you think the exit on that
Oh,
was?
at least 115 on that one.
Close, 114. Yikes.
That's got to be some of the fastest exit velocity this year.
Where that thing landed.
454 feet from home plate.
Oh,
killed it.
The camera guys out there are like, what's going on? 1-2 on MAHTOOK. MIKIE stays alive.
The crowd still buzzing here over that massive blast off the bat of Justin Upton, but he played here for 6 years, so and Tiger fans know how much power Justin Upton has in his bat.
I know we shouldn't be surprised, but that was impressive.
Oh my goodness.
And that is really impressive. Strike called, and MAHTOOK took it looking. 2 away. First strikeout for Wilhelmsen.
Catcher, James McCann.
Now James McCann, who has the other Tigers homer tonight. 6-3 Detroit.
McCann also knocked T.J. McFarland out of the game. McFarland threw 1 pitch. McCann hit a ball off his ankle, and he had to leave the game. So he's made some good solid contact today. 2 hard hit balls and a base on balls. So McCann might be coming out of this thing.
Swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball, 78 miles an hour.
Here is Wilson, who is your new 8th inning guy now. Alex Wilson, that is. I'll say this about McCann, though. Through the early struggles, he's been in the cage a lot. He has worked a lot.
Yes, indeed. Trying to figure some stuff out.
Upton's home run has made it 6-3 in favor of the Tigers. Get us another home run. That'll be curly fries tomorrow. Here's the 2-1. Here it is, hit it 95 up top, and he missed it. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That'll end the inning. Tigers get another big run, though. Justin Upton opened up a can on this pitch to dead center, and a 6-3 Tiger. showstopper tonight. Mark Trumbo, extra inning RBI single, wins it for the Baltimore Orioles in the 12th inning.
Trumbo also homered last night on a ball that was up around his neck. What's up with Baltimore, man? They're playing some good baseball.
Yeah, they really are. Zach Britton's going to be out a while, too. Orioles, there they are at 22-10 in the East.
And no one's even talking about them. Everybody's talking about the Bronx Bombers.
Well, the Tigers going back to the bullpen now. It's going to be the new 8th inning guy, Alex Wilson.
And Wilson throws a lot of strikes. And fastball, 92, 93. Good numbers on the year, 2.25 ERA, 1.08 WHIP. Doesn't strike out many.
Tigers had 6 runs, 6 hits, and the Diamondbacks tonight 3 runs, 7 hits. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 2-0, and it's in, a strike call, 2-1 on Drury. Owings to follow, then the pitcher spot due up 3rd in this inning. They'll get a hitter for Wilhelmsen. Fly ball. Left center field. Romine and Upton. Jay Up gives way to the center fielder, Romine. One gone. Here's Chris Owings. One for 3 this evening, a single way back in the 2nd. Strike call. To the right side, diving stop, Machado, but he can't finish it.
Oh, what a play by Dixon.
He had a shot and throw him out from his knees, but he just couldn't grab the handle. It'll be a base hit. Now Descalso will pinch hit.
And Dixon is a shortstop by trade, but he takes one step and a dive from that second base position. Made a nice grab to get the ball in the glove, but when trying to exchange, and he was not able to make the exchange cleanly, and also looked like he took one look at the runner there who was running down the line.
Here's the former Cardinal and Rocky Descalso. That is the 8th hit of the night now for the Diamondbacks. Descalso this year 173. And in the National League his entire career, St. Louis, Colorado, now Arizona. Descalso originally a 3rd round pick of the Cardinals. Got to the big leagues in 2010. Diamondbacks signed him in February this year as a free agent. On the outer edge, a strike. 1-1. Short 2-game series here. One more tomorrow night. Then it's on to Southern California to take on the Angels. It's going to be a 4-game series over the weekend.
It's always been a very difficult place for the Tigers to play in the last number of years. They're going to have to change it this year. And the Tigers will have Fulmer pitching in that series. Norris will get 1 game in that series. Justin will get a game in that series as well. So they're going to get the Tigers' best. How good was Michael Fulmer in Oakland?
Awfully good.
Huh.
Really good.
Dominant, man.
Sliced out of play. 2-2 on Descalso.
Eight innings, 8 hits. He threw 107 pitches. Walked a couple and punched out 9 Oakland Athletics.
Descalso hanging in there against Wilson. Justin Wilson, the new closer for the Tigers. He would pitch the 9th if need be tonight to get the save. And Brad saying Francisco Rodriguez is trying to find some, as they say, low leverage situations for him. Frankie worked with Rich Doobie today. But Justin Wilson, pretty calm about the whole thing. He certainly wants Frankie to regain that role, but he's ready to go.
Well, the one thing you hope is that Justin just doesn't change anything as the way that he has pitched so far this year, the way that he prepares, because he is throwing the heck out of the ball right now.
Yeah, he's been their best out of the bullpen.
He was the Tigers pitcher of the month in the month of April.
Two and two. Runner will go on that ball in the dirt. No throw. Wild pitch. So advance Owings to second base. Now 3-2 on Descalso. This will be the 8th pitch coming up in this bat. It's turned into a pretty good pinch hitting appearance here. Frankie in the back. Brad did say that Francisco took it like a true professional today. He said he understood. He's got to get some things ironed out. Now the 3-2 swing and a miss. Descalso is out of there. 2 gone. Hey, fans, celebrate Polish American Night on Friday, May 19th. Tigers battle the Rangers at 7:10 p.m. Enjoy polka music, dancing prior to the game. For tickets, visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. 2 down now. And Chris Herman will bat. He walked in his first at bat back in the 7th. After entering the game in a double switch. And he shoots one towards second. 1 hop there for Machado. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We go to the 9th. Ninth inning, 6-3 in favor of the Tigers, and they will face a new pitcher now. It's going to be Jorge De La Rosa.
Yeah, another hard thrower. Just seems like everybody that trots out of their bullpen throws 93, 94 miles an hour, and De La Rosa is another one. He's got a fastball, cutter, curveball, and a changeup. He loves his changeup, so pretty much fastball, changeup out of the hand of De La Rosa.
A lot of time in the Rockies organization, their all-time winner. 86 wins. Was Colorado's opening day starter a couple of years. He's got Dixon Machado to lead things off here in the ninth, and Dixon looks at ball one. Victor Martinez will get in this game after all. He's waiting on deck. Strike called. All Victor can do is pinch hit in this series. Here's the 1-1. Machado takes it low. 2-1. De La Rosa's been in the big leagues a long time. 04 was his first year with Milwaukee. Time with KC, Colorado, as we mentioned. Chopped to third base, foul. 2-2 on Machado. 0 for 3 tonight for Dixon. Starting in place of Ian Kinsler at second base. Ian right now is day to day. Don't know if he'll play tomorrow night. A lot of it depends on how he feels. Still felt it a little bit during batting practice today, so Kinsler did not start. Sound like a broken bat. It's going to be a base hit.
That bat died a hero.
Leadoff man on. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by Wallside Windows. Zach Godley tomorrow and Matthew Boyd in the finale.
And Boyd's pitched some good baseball this year at 3.78 ERA and 16 walks, 23 strikeouts. Godley checks in with a 3.606 strikeouts.
So Martinez is announced.
I thought when we were in Oakland we were going to see Zach Greinke, but apparently they backed Greinke up one more day.
Yeah, Godley tomorrow. Otherwise, the Tigers would have gotten both Ray and Greinke in this series. Although I thought by and large, Robbie did a pretty good job tonight against Robbie Ray.
They did. I mean, he had some strikeouts. He's been striking out a lot of people. He struck out a lot of people last year. It was a good look at Greinke and their ace. But the Tigers grinded him out, made him stay out there long enough, and they got just enough offense against him to knock him out of the game.
Victor Martinez batting .264, 18 RBIs for Victor.
And Victor really started to heat up in that Oakland series. And Bob Melvin continued to shift on Victor. Victor batting left-handed, continued to beat that shift every step of the way. It really was comical.
3 RBIs in that series for Martinez. He had the 3-hit game in the first one. The 1-1 shot to right field, base hit. Machado goes to second and stops there, and Victor with a pinch hit single.
The boy can just hit. And just about every last one of his hits the last week, whether batting left-handed or right-handed, has been hit the opposite way. That's a fastball that is down around his shoe tops in that same area where Justin Upton played long ball, and Victor didn't get greedy, just sliced it the other way.
So Tyler Collins will come on a pinch run at first base. So Martinez walks up there, slaps the single to right, and his night is over.
Must be nice.
They'll bring up ROMINE. Andrew, 2 walks, 2 runs scored. Tigers now have 8 hits. ROMINE showing bunt, lays one down. Goldschmidt fields, shovels, and out at first base. Sacrifice advances the runners.
It's a beautiful job of bunting by ROMINE, who just knows how to play the game. The ball's down. He makes sure he deadens it down toward first base. You didn't want to bunt it down third base, and he's hustling down the line, nearly beat it out.
The little things. Now you get a base hit, you get 2 more. Iglesias will step up there with the infield in. Iggy drilled a bullet his last time up that Lamb caught at third base. He was headed to the corner for a double. Two and 0. Miguel waiting on deck. Three and 0.
Wow. 375, 6 for 16 with 8 ribbies for Jose in these situations.
Three and 1 now on Iglesias. Jose had a single, scored a run in the 5th. Three one. Ground ball. Flagged down by the shortstop Owings. We'll check the runners. 2 gone. Yeah, 2 gone now, and that's going to bring up CABRERA. Hard hit ball.
They walk MIGUEL here to load the bases.
Yep.
To stay away from him.
Yep.
It's a nice play there by Owings. Well, they haven't sent him down there yet. Yep, there they go now.
There they go, yep.
See you later, buddy.
Thanks for playing. Intentional walk, and the Tigers fans here in Phoenix say boo.
They want to see the big fella. They don't want to see the big fella.
Look at that little guy. Thumbs down to that.
He got 24 jersey on?
Probably. So Castellanos going to bat with the bases loaded, and he's done well in these spots. 378 in his career.
Usually young players don't do all that well in situations where the bases are loaded because they always try to do too much. But Castellanos apparently, by those numbers, has been able to slow the game down and get good swings in these situations.
Nick singled in a run in the 1st inning. It came with 2 outs. He's also picked up a walk tonight. Ball 2. Sanchez and Wilson warming up. Castellanos delivers a big hit here. Probably sees Sanchez. Already a 3-run lead for the Tigers. Now the 2-0. He had a rip. Machado, Collins, Cabrera, your base runners.
That's happening right now.
That's what it says.
Yes.
Right now. 2-1. Fouled away now. 2-2 on Nicholas.
Nicholas has been hitting the ball hard consistently all season long. 55.2% hard hit rate. The league average is 31%. You can see that Nicholas is well above that.
Now 3-2 on Castellanos. There's Upton on deck. And he walked in ball four to force in a run. Second RBI of the night for Castellanos. 7-3 Tigers.
Here is the 1-800 call Sam call of the game. If you miss it, this is what Justin Upton did his last time up.
Swinging a drive to center. Way back, and that ball is gone.
Ooh, Jay up.
Oh, man.
Did you?
Justin Upton killed it.
Into the camera well.
That thing was hit as hard as you're going to see a ball hit. The hit speed on that was 114 miles an hour. It went 454.
And now getting the scouting report from the hitting coach Lloyd McClendon on the new pitcher.
So Upton's going to stand in there with the bases loaded to run in 2 outs. Archie Bradley is the new Diamondbacks pitcher.
And Bradley pitching in his 10th game, 1.56 ERA, whip under 1. He has 22 strikeouts and 4 walks. And Bradley supposed to be the future starter, ace for the Diamondbacks, now pitching out of bullpen.
He's got a nice beard.
You like it?
Got a nice beard. Hey, by the way, Tigers fans, you can't catch the games on TV and stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, takes Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. How about we check in now with John Keating?
Well, Torey Lovullo is making his, well, not his debut as a major league manager because he was the interim skipper for the Red Sox for a while, but this is his first full-time gig. And if you're a long ago Tiger fan, you will remember that he was Sparky Anderson's guy. Coming up, Sparky Anderson said there's nothing that Torey Lovullo can't do. And that put a good deal of pressure on Lovullo, and he was laughing about it earlier today. Loves Sparky, and some of Sparky's managerial wisdom has sort of crept into his head. He'll talk more about that during Tigers Live tomorrow night, guys.
It's funny, Keats, how Sparky would stick those tags on people. He also stuck one on, was it Chris Patero?
Chris Patero, yeah, right.
He said Patero was going to be the next Alan Trammell.
Gibby was going to be the next Mickey Mantle.
Man, that's some lofty expectations to plan on those guys.
Leave it to Sparky.
That's what he did. So Bradley gets ahead of Justin Upton here.
And Justin Upton with an opportunity to bust this bad boy wide open here tonight.
He's got 4 slams in his career. Tigers have added another lead, 7-3.
Everybody out of their bullpen and their starters, 95, 97. They have got some power arms. No wonder why they're pitching so well this year.
Well, it seems like we say that every night.
Yeah.
With every team. Oakland had a guy coming out of the pen throwing triple digits.
He did. Montas?
Yeah, Frankie. 0-2. Collins, the runner at third, pinch running. Came on for Martinez, who had singled. And the Herman's block there kept him at third base. Here's the 1-2. Got it. Strike three, and Jay Up knew it.
That was 99 out of the hand of Bradley.
Tigers get another run, though. And here comes the new closer. Justin Wilson comes on as we go to the bottom of the ninth, 7-3.
At a time where, you know, Frankie's struggling, which you never want to see. You know, he's done a ton for our entire bullpen, myself included. And I think we're a better team with him in the ninth. And, you know, like I said, I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm going to do whatever I can to shut it down in the ninth, but I want him right, and we'll move forward.
Well, the words of Justin Wilson, this is not a save situation, but the Tigers looking to Wilson to close it down. A 7-3 ball game as we go to the bottom of the ninth.
Wilson has thrown the ball exceptionally well so far this season. 15 in the third innings pitched so far this year. And he has 22 strikeouts and 4 walks.
So Justin now will face the top of the lineup. It's going to be A.J. Pollock and then David Peralta and Paul Goldschmidt. Big run for the Tigers, making it a 4-run game. Pollock 2 out of 4. He's got a double tonight. And he looks at a strike. 95 from the left arm of Justin Wilson.
He's got a little bit more in his tank. He can get up to 97.
Pollock slaps it foul, back out of play on 2. Doubled, scored a run in the third, singled in the seventh. Really the best chance late for the Diamondbacks. They had the bases loaded, but Yasmani Tomas struck out, and that ended that threat. Missed low with the breaking ball, 1-2. Each ball club tonight with 8 hits. Bouncer back to the middle and flagged down by Wilson. 1 gone.
And one hopper right at Jay Willie. And he picks it, takes his time, and waits for Miguel to get there. Just doesn't lob it over there. He kind of gives it to Miguel firm throw to first.
Here is Peralta. Ball one. Diamondbacks came into this game 12-5 at home. They had played exceedingly well here. Big inning in this game was the 3-run fifth for the Tigers. They were down 3-2 and then went up 5-3. They've led since. Ball two outside. Tigers tonight have gone with Justin Verlander, Hardy, Green, Alex Wilson, now Justin Wilson. Two and two. A lot is made about how the last 3 outs of a game are more difficult to get for whatever reason mentally, but it seems like Wilson has that way about him that he's not going to get rattled.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an issue for him either, especially the way that he's throwing the baseball this year. He's pitching with a purpose and a lot of confidence. It's a fastball upstairs here to Peralta that he could not lay off of. And Jay Wilson, Justin Wilson, he's been throwing a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone too.
Paul Goldschmidt is the last chance for the Diamondbacks tonight. And there's the ball inside, 1-0.
And Paul Goldschmidt was on the USA team in the World Baseball Classic. Although he didn't play very much. Eric Hosmer was getting most of the playing time at first base in the World Baseball Classic.
It's got to be one of the most difficult things for a manager. I mean, you've got basically an all-star team and finding all of them time to play, yet wanting to win that tournament badly.
Yeah, Kendrick kept David Murphy on the bench.
Yes, I know it. And Murphy can play.
He can hit. Jim knew what he was doing, though. Tiger fans got that ball. And Tiger fans all over this place tonight.
It'll go foul. He's having time for life
Isn't
tonight.
she, though? They don't get a chance to see their Tigers very often. Live and in person.
Well, they've gotten a good show tonight. Tigers lead 7-3.
Everybody all geared out.
That is a foul ball. One and two on Goldschmidt. Lamb on deck should he reach. Tiger fans celebrating tonight. High fly ball.
That'll do it.
Shallow right field. MIKIE MAHTOOK squeezes it for the final out, and the Tigers win here tonight 7-3. We send you to the Coliseum Studios. Trevor Thompson standing by with Tigers live postgame.